Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Get my section up here. And what we're going to do today is quickly talk about our power rankings for this week and our week 4 picks. And we're going to begin by checking this out. Let me check something real quick. Let me check this real quick. Let me check this real quick. Okay. Yeah, we good. Just wanted to make sure my sound was coming through. So we'll start with last week's picks. And because I don't have the actual paper with me, this is the picture that I put up on the community tab. And I didn't do so hot with these picks last week. Finished last week actually 8-8. There were a bunch of upsets that we didn't really anticipate. Last week was basically NFL upset last week. A bunch of things went wrong that we didn't expect them. That's why the NFL is a week to week league, and when things go that way, you just kind of chalk it up and move on. And that's what happens. So as you can see, you see the picks up there, and again, I won't go through them because I don't have them highlighted. Again, I thought I had that paper with the right and wrong ones with me, but I guess I don't have it. And we'll just kind of move on to my picks for this week. So what we'll do is we'll pull up this week's picks. Let's get that up. Because I do have that. All right, we got this week's picks. So we'll go right into this week's picks. Make it a little bigger so we all can see it. And we'll start with the first one. Tonight's game, Dallas versus the Giants. Now, even though Dallas didn't have, the showing that they wanted to have, I think that was mostly because of what we did. They finished that game on a good note. And so I think the Cowboys are get back on the good foot and to take care of the Giants this week. I think the Giants are one of the lowly teams in the NFL, with Malik Neighbors as being the bright spot on that team. And I think the Giants take that. I think New Orleans goes into Atlanta and pulls out a victory Sunday. I also think the Rams go into Chicago and get a victory. I think the quarterback position is holding Chicago back right now. Caleb has not gotten off to the start that I think they hope he would get into. And the Rams, without Puka, without Cooper Kupp, are grinding stuff out. They're finding ways to win. They had a big punt return from the FAMU alum Xavier Smith to put them in position to beat the 49ers this past week. So they grinding stuff out and finding ways to win. Sean McVay is one of the best coaches in the league, and they're making it happen. Next up, Green Bay and Minnesota. Even though I think Minnesota is one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now, I think Green Bay will be excited if Jordan Love comes back. This is the last game I picked, honestly. When I went through this at first, I left this game blank and then came back to it because this is a tough one to pick. Because Minnesota is really, really good. I think the part that holds them back is the quarterback position, and Sam Darnold's playing real good. But I think it's tough to go on Green Bay and get a victory, and especially if Jordan Love comes back. What up, Sadiq? I think Green Bay will pull this one out. Next up, Pittsburgh and Indianapolis. Pittsburgh is undefeated. I think they stay undefeated. As much as it pains me to say Pittsburgh's going to be 4-0 in the first quadrant of the season, I think they finish that way. The Jets in Denver. I think the Jets come through with a victory right here. Even though I like what Bo Nix did in the last start, I think what the Jets present to them defensively will be too much for the rookie to overcome. But I think he's on his way to being a pretty good football player up there in Denver. So I picked the Jets to win that one. Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. I think Philly starts to get it together and use Saquon for what he's worth. I think they're going to start to feature Saquon, especially with A.J. Brown hurt and if Devontae can't play. They're going to use Saquon, use the tight end, and use Hurts and his feet, and take Tampa Bay for what they're worth, and just make Baker beat them. And sometimes Baker can beat you, sometimes he can't. Sometimes Baker take it, and sometimes he give it away. And I think this will be one of the weeks he give it away. Cincinnati and Carolina. Cincinnati ain't gonna lose forever, so I'm playing percentages on this one. Cincinnati not gonna lose forever, and I'm playing percentages on this one. And even though the Red Rocket came up and gave Carolina a victory last week, I'm just playing the numbers on this one. Houston and Carolina. Houston and Jacksonville. Jacksonville looks terrible right now. Houston is one of the better teams in the league, I think. So I'm picking Houston on this one. The Commanders in Arizona. I really like what Commanders got going on right now. There's no way of trying to hide it. I like Jaden Daniels. I like what he brings to the table. I like his poise. I like his athleticism. I just like what he's doing with that team. So I'm picking Washington over Arizona right now. Um, who else we got? What's the next one? San Francisco and New England. San Francisco, we know, is one of the loadedest, and I probably just made that word up, team in the NFL. And Brock is getting another opportunity to see what he can do without his stars. He had it last year, and that's when I kind of got on the train saying Brock couldn't do it without those guys. And I'm kind of off that train saying Brock is not a good quarterback. Brock's pretty good, and he has the opportunity to go out there and show it versus New England. And I think he can do that versus New England, even though New England's pretty good defensively. Cleveland versus Vegas. I think Antonio Pierce is hitting the almost hitting that panic button, and those guys are either going to get it done or they're about to get gone in Vegas. And I think they have the opportunity to get that done because they play a lot of man coverage. And I don't think they have a guy that can cover Devontae or Brock Bowers. And I think that's going to be what saves Vegas this week. Kansas City and the Chargers. Until somebody beat Kansas City, I'm not going to pick against them. Buffalo and Baltimore. I really hate picking our games, but I'm going to pick this one. We're going to beat Buffalo. We're going to knock them off the mantle of the undefeated. We're going to run the ball on them, and we'll talk more about what I feel about this game in my preview tomorrow. And again, we have 2 Monday night games, Miami versus Tennessee. Some interesting news about this Miami versus Tennessee game. Snoop may be the starter for this game. Snoop may be the starter for this game. Tyler Huntley may be the starter for the Dolphins in this game. So I'm definitely picking Miami for that one. I don't like Tennessee. I don't like where they're headed. I do like them defensively, but I got Miami winning this. And Tyreek had 30 something yards last week. Waddle may have had 40. A-Chain not a lot. I think them guys get back on a good foot, and Snoop leads them to a victory. And lastly, Seattle and Detroit. Probably going to be the best game of the week, behind Baltimore and Buffalo. Mike McDonald versus Dan Campbell. If this game was in Seattle, I would probably pick Seattle, but it's in Detroit. And I think it's going to be hard for Seattle to go into Detroit and get a victory. Even though I think it's going to be really, really close, this game could go either way. All right, so those are my picks for the week. Let's take a look at where we are for the year, for my standings. And again, we're going to keep up with it for the whole year. All right, so here are my standings for the year. Make it a little bigger so we all can see it. After going 8-8 last week, on the year, I'm 24-23. And that's because I think that first Baltimore game, I didn't pick. Our very first game versus KC, I didn't pick. So that's why my number is off. I didn't pick the Kansas City and Baltimore game. So that's why I don't have 16 in week 1. But I'm 1 game above 500. And hopefully these picks this week will get me a couple games above 500 because I need it. Now let's dive into the power rankings. What up, Stretch? Appreciate you for popping in. Let's see. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Make this bigger so you guys don't have to see that. I don't want to give it all away too fast. Where's my mouse? There it is. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Blow it up. Let me blow it up. All right, there we go. All right, so there we go. You see who's on the bottom. And so to give a little quick explanation, it's the team name, and beside the team name is where they went up or down. So like for 32, you see Jaguars -4. That means they dropped 4 spots. 31, you see Titans -1. Titans drop 1 spot. Bengals -5. They drop 5 spots. That's what that means. So as we go, you can kind of understand what you're looking at. The red marker means those were the highest droppers. The green marker indicates the highest risers. So for those that don't know, if this is your first time here, second time here, you just straight up forgot, that's what that means. So we'll ease on up the sheet right here and let's keep it pushing. So coming in at 28, the New England Patriots, Bears at 27, Cardinals at 26. Now, if I had my other setup, I would, and I'll do this for the top 10. I just do this for the top 10. I'll talk about that for the top 10. So let's just streak through till we get to the top 10. Let's do it like that. And I'll talk about the top 10. Cardinals at 26, Falcons at 25, Broncos at 24, Dolphins at, where's my mouse? There it is. Dolphins at 23, Raiders at 22, Panthers are one of the highest movers at 21, Cowboys at 20, Browns at 19, Rams at 18, Colts are the other highest mover at 17. Hey, be safe out there, Sadiq. Hey, good luck to y'all tonight too. Hope y'all win that game. I'm predicting y'all win that game. Have fun, big dog. Appreciate it. Appreciate you for stopping through. 49ers at 16, Ravens at 15. This is probably the lowest the Ravens ever been in my power rankings. Buccaneers at 14, Commanders at 13, Jets at 12, Packers at 11, and then starting at the top 10, the Saints. You see, the Saints were -4. The Saints coming off that loss. Let me get to it. 1 second. Saints coming off that loss to the Eagles. And that's why they dropped the 4 spots. And that was a pretty good game. They lost 12 to 15. In the number 9 spot, we have the Chargers. They're a -2. The Chargers were way up there. They coming off that loss to the Steelers. They didn't drop that much because the Steelers were undefeated. There were 2 undefeated teams, and that's why they didn't drop too much. Go to the next one. Eagles, +5. Eagles went up 5 spots. They beat both teams were undefeated. No, the Eagles were 1-1, but they beat an undefeated New Orleans Saints team. They jumped up 5 spots to number 8. Goes to number 7. The Houston Texans. Houston Texans, they jumped down 5 spots, but because they were real high up, but it was a battle of undefeateds. The 2-0 Texans were versus the 2-0 Vikings, and they're still in the top 10, but they dropped down some because they lost, but they lost to one of the better teams in the NFL. And notice we hadn't seen the Vikings yet. Coming in number 6, the Lions. The Lions went up 4 spots to number 6. Lions last week beat the Cardinals 20-13. And because some teams up here in the top spots lost, that's how the Lions were able to jump up and do their thing and get up to number 6. Number 5, the Steelers. Most people say the Steelers should not be up here. You're tripping, coach. You are what your record says you are. The Steelers are 3-0. And as much as I don't want to give them props, you got to give it to them. They 3-0. So the Steelers come in at number 5. The Steelers broke the top 5. Coming in at number 4, Minnesota Vikings. Again, the Vikings are one of the hottest teams in the NFL. And again, they're doing it with Sam Darnold as a quarterback. Now, I had the opportunity to take Justin Jefferson in a couple of fantasy football leagues, and I didn't do it because of the uncertainty at quarterback. I kind of wish I had done it now because they are straight up balling up there in Minnesota. And they beat the Houston Texans and beat them handily, 34-7 Sunday. And the Minnesota Vikings come in at number 4. And again, y'all told me I was crazy when I had the Vikings in my top 10 in preseason. I'm going to slide over the preseason real quick. Look, I'm going to slide over the preseason real quick. That's preseason. This is the preseason one right here. The Vikings at number 6. And technically they had the same number as the Ravens, but I put the Ravens ahead. I'm a little biased. So y'all said I was crazy when I had the Vikings in my top 10. Don't say I'm crazy now. All right, let's go to number 4. Now, they may fall off, but right now, where they at. Number 3, the Seahawks. Seahawks 3-0. Mike McDonald doing this thing over there. They beat the Dolphins 24-3 pretty handily, but the Dolphins don't really have a quarterback, so you kind of take that with a grain of salt. But they 3-0, so they're number 3 right now. Number 2, the Buffalo Bills. Team the Ravens got. The Buffalo Bills look really, really, really good on both sides of the football right now. To me, there's no real denying that they're the number 2 team, And then obviously we all know who number one is. Until somebody beat the Chiefs, they're going to continually be ranked number one in my power rankings. So that's the power rankings for this week. I also gave you my picks for this week as well. So that's what I got for you guys today. I appreciate you for coming through for this quick little video. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And make sure you tune in next week, for we'll see if we got these picks right. And we'll see the updated power rankings list based off what transpires this weekend. Appreciate everybody out there. Appreciate it. I want to say be safe to everybody that's in the path of this hurricane, myself included. And we'll see y'all soon, man. Peace and love. We out.